So that's how I look at taxes. I look at regulations, get rid of the regulatory delay. I've had anti-business people that say, we don't have to win a referendum. We don't have to win a lawsuit. We don't have to pass a single piece of legislation to stop industry, to stop investment, to lower its productivity, so that it can't pay its workers as much, so it can't pay as much stumpage, so the value of land goes down. All we need to do is create uncertainty, risk, and delay, and the whole system will come down. And when prices get low enough, we've done statistical studies that show that the people in Maine, when prices get low enough, that we can use land for Maine futures to bond and buy up productive land and put it into land for Maine's future. I say at this point in our economy, when we're in deep recession, we ought to be putting a ban and not a moratorium on bonding for land for Maine futures and put it into roads and bridges and port facilities and our rail, which is in desperate need. And in terms of like vernal pools, to me the biggest and the most endangered species we have in Maine is the person that lives off the land or off the sea. And the vernal pool that I'm most concerned about is the 7 acres around the state capitol in Augusta. And that's one vernal pool that I want to set up to drain. So my feeling is I've got to go, you know, if I become governor, I want to take this kind of background. I haven't talked too much about education. Let me just add that in and I'll wrap it up to have questions. I think it's unconscionable that the state is recommending this, that they're going to take money, find poor towns that are in rural areas that have tried but have not been able to consolidate, and fine them and give it to wealthy suburban towns. I mean, that makes no sense at all. And the other thing is I think we can truly streamline our regulatory process and still have accountability. So that's the core of where I come from. I believe we can significantly lower our energy costs through good policy. We can revitalize our natural resource economy. I mean, we have the resources, we have more growing timber, faster growing, all of those things that we had is in private hands. It can be revitalized. We have to send the signals. The signals are not lowering regulation, but streamlining and getting rid of the regulatory delay. And it is lowering the tax rates across the board, and not by shifting the tax burden from the state to the town. Those are the kind of things I feel, and my passion is that, you know, I've been able to accomplish things at Hudson. I've been able to help transform Hudson University into a very successful, prosperous institution as it is today. I truly believe that we can reach those tipping points and that we can find ways to tip the Maine economy and have it move forward again. We're seeing it happen in New Jersey, we're seeing it happen in Virginia, it can happen here in Maine. That prosperity is what we need. And I wrap up my story with a story about a student that came into my office and said that he'd been kicked out of the dorms for 2 weeks because he had knives. And I said, what kind of knives? And he said, well, a hunting knife and a Batman star blade. And I said, you mean the kind of thing you throw through the air and cut off fingers? And he said, yeah, it was given to me by a Marine. And I said, why don't you just go stay with some friend? Bunk out on the kid's couch. Some kid's couch off campus. He said, well, I don't know anybody. I'm a freshman. I don't have a car. I'm studying hard. And I said, I kind of looked at your grades and they're not too good. He said, well, I had a bad fall the first semester. And I said, how so? And he said, my mother's heart ruptured and she died. And my dad isn't taking it very well. And I said, wow, I really felt badly. And I said, you know, your brothers and sisters, you have three younger brothers under 10. And I bum ride home on the weekends to help around the house, help my dad, take him to the woods, go hunting. I said, where do you live? I said, you know, 3 hours up north. And I said, how are you in school? And he says, third in my graduating class of 17. And I said, you know, how are your grades? GP, how was your SAT score? He said, well, 700 in math, not so good in English. And I said, that's good enough to go to an Ivy League school. Why are you at Hudson? He says, well, I want to go home. I want to build a house up on Grampus Hill. I want to marry my high school sweetheart. And I want to be a pharmacist in town at the grocery store. And I said, yeah, that's wonderful. I mean, that's what I'm all about. And I said, why don't you just go stay at Motel 6 and take a taxi for 2 weeks? He said, I don't have any money. And I said, well, how much do you have? And he had about $200 to get through the rest of the semester, and this is in February. And I said, that's not enough. How did you get here? And he said, well, our family had no money. And so I got a good scholarship to come to Hudson, but it wasn't enough. And so last August, I enlisted in the Army, and my grandmother got so mad, she gave me all her life savings, so here I am. Well, if you want to know, deep down inside, why I'm running for governor, it's because of kids like Matt. That's what drives me. It's the opportunities. It's the chance for that kid to pursue his dream. Humble or exciting or dynamic as it is. That's the real reason. And I think that it takes tough decisions. Somebody's going to have to go down there and cut $1 billion out of the budget next year. This is not child's play. I mean, it's a stimulus, can't keep going on. We've got these unfunded liabilities that are out there, $5 to $6 billion that have been building up. If we pass those on to our grandchildren are going to have this huge burden, and they're going to be paying it to the Chinese grandchildren. Because they're the ones that are buying all our notes and stuff. And I say, so somebody's got to start the process. It's going to be a really tough, I mean, sure it's exciting to be governor of the state of Maine, but it's going to be a really, really tough job. And I made tough enough decisions at Hudson that I got a unanimous vote of no confidence by the faculty. I mean, unanimous. Not one person voted in favor of me. And that was about 5 years after I'd made all the tough decisions. And the trustees said, well, we like him. You know, we give him a unanimous vote of confidence. And the faculty eventually gave me a unanimous vote of confidence, and I went on. Well, I've been there and done that. I'm willing to do that again. I think that's the kind, you need to have somebody that's compassionate, that cares about people, that's got a breadth and depth of experience, that's been an executive, hasn't been able to pass the buck, has been successful in Maine, and has a vision of the kind of Maine that the future can be. So that's who I am. That's kind of a little background, kind of the way I look at the environment, and that's why I'm running for governor. And I'd love to have you have at me, try to be a little bit provocative, to answer any questions you might have. Thank you very much.